It's offhand. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. My dear participants in this workshop, I greet all of you. Good afternoon. Is it evening once again? The day has been so rigorous. We had so many presentations, and I don't want to overstress all of us here. Maybe I may have to summarize my presentation. As we can see, my presentation has to do with 4 or 5 things: biosafety, biosecurity, antimicrobial resistance, and biosurveillance. These are very important components that interplay. In summary, the central focus of my presentation is that we have some organisms that are considered to be valuable in healthcare, and they pose threats to our life. These organisms may be beneficial and may also be harmful. If we make efforts to prevent ourselves so as to maintain high quality life, improved health against those pathogenic organisms or organisms that are considered to be dangerous to our lives, we try to protect ourselves against them where we consider AMRs among them. AMRs are among them. So we are doing what we call biosafety, because we are trying to keep ourselves safe from those organisms that are considered to be dangerous. Now, from another angle, you may have other organisms that may be beneficial to our lives, but at the same time, they can be manipulated to be made to be dangerous to our lives. So an attempt to manipulate organisms and to spread them, to make them circulate in our society in such a way that they affect the quality of our life, it is called terrorism. And it is called bioterrorism. So making efforts to block unauthorized persons from having access to these organisms so as not to manipulate them, people with malicious intention not to have access to those organisms, is what we call biosecurity. So biosecurity is protecting the organisms, biosafety is protecting us, and then you of course know what is antimicrobial resistance, which is a threat. And then where you can have antimicrobial resistance in concept of biosafety and biosecurity. If we protect ourselves from contracting or maybe having contact with multi-drug resistant organisms, it is also an aspect of biosafety. But I'm telling you, as we walk, we generate huge data. The data we are generating, especially if we are working in an automated environment where our laboratories are automated, let me say in advanced countries or settings where you have integrated laboratory system, where you have laboratory information management system in place, we generate data about the organisms. And then this data is being kept in our database. And this database contains vital information about organisms. And those people whom we mentioned in the aspect of biosecurity that may have unauthorized access, they may launch a cyber attack on the database. Now try to have access to the genomic sequence of the organisms and then manipulating the genomic sequence and then, let me say, manufacturing another very dangerous strains of organisms that are much more resistant to antibiotics, and circulating it in the society, in the environment, is very possible. So that is why when we are looking at this aspect of biosafety and biosecurity, we also have to be conscious of the current trend of information technology. And information technology is multidisciplinary. So therefore, the central focus of this presentation here is now to try to make a risk assessment survey in order to identify the threat. This is what we call biosafety or biosecurity risk assessment. And then when you incorporate it into the laboratory information management system, you have a component of biosurveillance. The essence of biosurveillance is to detect a threat on a very good time, a timely detection of a threat with the view to nip it in bud, with a view to block it, with a view to contain it. And then we do this through biosurveillance. So that is, I hope I'm able to define the content of my presentation. So why I did that is because I don't want to take our slide through our slides page by page reading. Maybe I may be showing the slides. I believe it will be shared among us. So that is the central focus of this discussion. So therefore, I would like us to bear in mind that aspect of biosafety and biosecurity is multidisciplinary. We have biosafety and biosecurity applied throughout our scientific lives. In Nigeria here, we have a national working group on biosafety and biosecurity, of which I happen to be a member. And then we have a representative of the Medical and Dental Council, Veterinary Council of Nigeria. We have representative from even the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. We have representative from National Biosafety Management Agency. We have representative from Ministry of Environment. When you consider all these representatives, we have representative from the academia. So when you consider this, it entails the one health approach we are professing. So therefore, we should understand that this issue of biosafety, biosecurity, biosurveillance is also multidisciplinary. Next line, please. Okay. So now, in this presentation, it is very important to take note that this presentation is going to cover this. These are our key messages. Number one, we have known, we have understood adequately that antimicrobial resistance is a global threat with rising resistance, and we have seen the economic impact also, based on the previous presentations. Number two, we have understood that biosafety prevents unintentional exposure or release of pathogens. Among them are the multi-drug resistant organisms. Then biosecurity protects biological materials, including multi-drug resistant organisms. It protects them and block unauthorized access or misuse. We have to understand that while we are talking about biosecurity, we should understand that there is an aspect of biosecurity which we call cyber biosecurity. This cyber biosecurity is very important. Last year, I was invited and I made a presentation where various relevant agencies were invited in Abuja. Then we made a presentation on this cyber biosecurity in the context of biosafety and biosecurity. So stakeholders were made to understand that this issue of cyber security is everybody's affairs. We should also understand that poor laboratory practice contribute to the proliferation of AMR. And we should also understand that integrated biosafety, biosecurity, and cyber biosecurity safeguard public health. This is the key message this presentation intends to convey. Next, we have understood that there is a rising resistance. We have also understood the economic implication, and we have understood why it is important to conduct surveillance so as to timely detect the threat. Now, we have already defined what is biosafety and biosecurity. You can download this document. That's is a WHO document. Directly, you can download this. They are downloadable very freely from the net. That talk about biosafety, laboratory biosafety, and laboratory biosecurity. And these are the definitions. And all these definitions, you can see the keyword there is unintentional, accidental exposure to harmful organisms. Now, measures to prevent accidental exposure or unintentional exposure is biosafety. While for biosecurity, it is intentional connivance. It is intentional, deliberate attempt made by individuals or scientists with malicious intention in order to cause harm to our environment, to cause harm to human health, to cause harm to animal health. This is biosecurity issue. I want to cite an example. That is why when we come to issue of biosafety and biosecurity, if you go to the United States, it is purely issues that has to do with defense. So we went through, we underwent so many trainings, and this training was under the State Department of Defense. So this also biosafety and biosecurity. In the same way, you consider your armament to launch war, to launch attack on innocent lives. So also, there are people that use organisms to launch attack. There's an example of one African country that heavily relied on tilapia fish. Their fish is so nutritious, and their main source of income, internally generated revenue, is through tilapia fish. Everybody works towards that. You know, you can have a community that have one business in common. So when it was realized that they are heavily relied on that, somebody, a scientist, a zoologist, also introduced a wild fish into their rivers. And then they multiplied the wild fish, and that wild fish was made to mainly target those tilapia fishes, and they proliferate it. They separate it, and within short time, those tilapia fish were wiped away, and their economy become grounded. This is a biosecurity attack. So this we can use microorganisms to also do the same. So this is very important, and we can also wage attack from our databases. So therefore, biosecurity in relation to antimicrobial resistance, AMR, focuses on, these are the components of biosecurity. Biosecurity protects pathogens, dangerous pathogens. They protect organisms of, where we put protection here, the first one, it means there are organisms that can be used for beneficial purpose, and there are organisms that can also be used for harmful purposes. That is what we call dual use. So it protects the component of dual use. There are some highly pathogenic organisms. We protect them, we block them, so that unauthorized person may not have access to them. Then there is an issue of containment, where you have a threat. You try to contain the threat through various containment strategies. Then we ensure that we have a safe environment, and then we conduct surveillance in order to detect a threat. This is where you can apply the component of biosafety and biosecurity in order to solve the issue of antimicrobial resistance. This basic concept of cyber security, which we know, I said it is multidisciplinary. I deliberately decided to introduce us to this component so that we develop interest and consider it our also business. You can see cyber security, we protect our systems, networks, and data from digital attack and unauthorized access or damage, correct? And we all have our databases. So it is our business. We should also understand that there is what you call CIA triad, where you maintain, if you generate data, the electronic data we generate, we have to maintain its confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, this is what you call triad. It is only through biosecurity component that you try cyber security, you maintain all this, and then you should also be able to identify your threats. There are so many threats that can be found because we have gone digital now. So we have more of the digital attack than the physical attack. So we have malware. You know, when you are talking of malware, somebody can create viruses and send it to a software and it destroys it. You know what happened during the COVID-19 vaccine? You remember? And so on. The industry was attacked. And because of this malware, we have phishing. When people want to have access to your data, they keep on making trials to now break the security of your databases. That is what you call phishing. Denial of source, that is overloading a system to make it unavailable to users. When they come, they will hijack it. Just like they will hijack it, and you have encrypted it in such a way that nobody can have access to it. Now they will also block you from having access to your database. This is what they normally do. The people with malicious intention, and then we have man-in-the-middle attack, whereby they intercept communication between two parties. You are now trusted, and then you have been hired by another, for example, another establishment. You release your data through security route to them, and they now enter in between and block the transmission channel. All this happened to our biological data bases. Then we have insider threats, where you have malicious activities by trusted individuals within an organism. Those people with instincts to acquire illegal wealth will become compromised. So they cause a lot of problem. So therefore, in order to avoid this, we have what we call authentication and authorization, whereby even those that are allowed to have access to the database will have to undergo authentication. You have to pass through so many processes of using some codes and whatever. Then authorization means determining what resources a user or system is permitted to use. For example, myself, I have access to a global biorisk management curriculum library. I can at any time enter the database and download materials, resources, and then make use of it. But I have to be authorized. I have authorization. So this is what I'm an example of that. So you have to be authorized. Nobody, if I give you the database, you cannot use it. There are some softwares that if I give you, you cannot use it until when you are authorized to use it. So these are some of the things. Then we have what we call encryption by trying to protect your database. I'm citing this example, I'm bringing these basic things so that by the time, I don't know whether we have any functional laboratory information management system in Katsina State. In any laboratory, do you have any functional laboratory information management system working? I doubt it. I doubt it. Ko? Babu. Ko akwai? President. Ina president, chairman. Akwai? To the best of your knowledge. Eh? You have? Ina? Ko for security reasons you don't want to mention? Okay. So we protect our data. In encryption, you will see a document will be sent to you. If you are to open the document, you will see rubbish, nonsensical, unsensible things inside. It will not make any sense because you see so many useless things there. That is what you call encryption. So even if you open it, you will not be able to read until when it is decoded. That is what you call encryption. So this is how we were expected to subject our data to it. So therefore, all this, we have vulnerabilities and exploits, we have firewalls and these ones are anti-attack. And then we have vulnerabilities where you have weakness in the software in such a way that you identify the vulnerability so that you block it. Because if you have vulnerable points, the attackers will attack it and then have access to your database. Why are we doing all this? We want to protect our data. We want to protect the sequence, genomic sequence of our organism in such a way that somebody, an intelligent person, those cyber criminals are, in fact, they are extra intelligent. So they can manipulate whatever you have there. So we do this in order to break them, to block them. Having said all this, we should understand that we are right now in a digital age, so we need cyber security in the concept of our biosafety and biosecurity, and in also affairs that have to do with antimicrobial resistance. So we can see how they are interplay. We need all of this in order to protect our data. We need to do this. We need to imbibe the concept of cyber biosecurity so as to prevent data breaches. We have data, we generate data, and we have that databases. So through cyber biosecurity, we block data breaches, we block laboratory system vulnerabilities, we also block possibility of manipulation of our research data. When you generate data, you deposit it in a database, it can be manipulated by unauthorized persons. Then we have cyber biosecurity threats. This is the intersection of cybersecurity and biological systems. As I said earlier, we need to have a point of intersection between biological system, biological data, including AMRs, and then our digital components. So we marry all this in order to achieve safety. This one are different scenarios where there are reported cases of cyber attack on biological databases. These are some of the examples. Number one, you can see with the reference where you have a vaccine database attacked, We have number 2, COVID-19, vaccine supply chain attacks during the pandemic. It was attacked. Then you can see manipulation of DNA sequences, cases reported, and so many others. You can see this one, number 5. Having detected these possibilities, these Sandia National Laboratories, I believe among some of you we can have some beneficiaries. Is there anybody who has participated? Okay, thank you, my director. Any other person again? Sandia National Laboratories activities targeted at biosafety and biosecurity. So many activities took place in Nigeria, and then there and at Albuquerque in the United States. So they made a simulation and then identified vulnerabilities and then they simulated it, and it was demonstrated to be positive. All these were published. You can see this is a book on cyber biosecurity, how to protect biotechnology from adversarial attacks, AI attacks. You can see hacking DNA sequence, biosecurity meets cybersecurity. You can see all these are live publications. I just made a screenshot to show you how important this component is. And these are some examples of the databases that are vulnerable to attack. You can see genomics and proteomics. You can see GeneBank, UniProt, KEG. You can see biotechnology application. All these are databases where we keep very important, vital information, including information on antimicrobial resistance gene sequences. And they are vulnerable to attack. This is what we are trying to say. So all this, you can see even in our environment, you have bioinformatic tools and whatever, you can have vulnerabilities there. So these are areas of vulnerabilities. Some of them, if you are running based on automation, they attack the automation. They attack the genetic treatment. If there is any genetic applications, they attack it. You can see patient portals. They attack system vulnerabilities, digital medicine, pathogen tracking. Is also vulnerable. You can see system integrity and so many other cyber threats. So this is very important. While we are making frantic efforts to combat antimicrobial resistance, we also take into cognizance these cyber biosecurity vulnerabilities. These are areas of impact. When we allow such kind of attacks to take place, we don't protect our data, then the worker safety is compromised. The scientific advancement will be stalled. We will have a lot of financial losses, and then there is going to be security threats, and also the public health will be negatively impacted upon. So therefore, it is very important to protect our laboratories and research facilities against cyber attack, and that is a component of biosecurity. We maintain the integrity of our research, because when you conduct a research, you make findings and it is deposited, and then you allow it to be vulnerable. Some people with malicious intentions, scientists, experts, may have access to it and now manipulate it and cause harm. It's very important. So therefore, we need cyber biosecurity in the concept, in the war against AMR. We can see, therefore, this interconnectedness is very important. Having said this now, we have established a strong link between biosafety, biosecurity, biosurveillance, cybersecurity, cyber biosecurity, digital ICT, and so on. We have established how important it is and how relevant it is to the fight against AMRs. And then we also have some points of intersection, and we have a point of divergence. We have point of convergence and point of divergence as far as these three components are concerned. We have global health, we have laboratory practices, and we have antimicrobial resistance. In between them, we have some points of intersections, some of points of convergence, and so on. But the most important thing is to ensure that we have containment and prevention. Now, in applying biosafety, we apply biosafety and biosecurity to prevent pathogen escape and contamination. So all we want to do is to prevent the pathogen from escaping to the environment, so much so that it affects the members of the environment, components of the environment, and which will also contribute to the proliferation of antimicrobial resistance. So we do this through an excellent personal protection equipment, containment levels, waste management, and decontamination. You remember in our key message we said one of the fundamental components that encourage proliferation of AMRs is bad laboratory practices. And then when you address this, you are solving a portion of bad laboratory practice. So therefore, biosecurity, as we said, safeguard high-risk pathogen and data integrity. Among the high-risk pathogens, we have what? The multi-drug resistant organisms. So this is also very important. These are scenarios when biosecurity failures can, now you can see this is the central focus of this presentation, where if we don't preserve excellent biosafety and biosecurity practices, then it can now lead to proliferation of antimicrobial resistance. You can see contaminated samples is one. We have to take into cognizance of laboratory-acquired infections, and then unauthorized access. This unauthorized access is very important. Access, limiting access to laboratories is very important. If you go to research, our research laboratories, you go to teaching laboratories, you go to routine laboratories in the hospitals, they are all porous. And then if you have a threat means somebody with malicious intention. He is very intelligent. A threat, because he comes, you may not know how he will have access to your pathogens. So much, that is a physical attack. And then he may manipulate it and use it for malicious purposes, which is very important. Therefore, in all this, we have to safeguard our laboratories in order to prevent unauthorized access, and this is a concept of biosecurity. This is very, very important. It took us some months before we could have access to a laboratory where very important pathogens were kept. Very important pathogens that are considered to be, although they are of beneficial purpose, but they could also be manipulated to cause harm. So that is why, as I told you earlier in my opening, this concept of biosafety and biosecurity is not under Ministry of Health. If you go to the United States, it's not under the Department of Health. It is under the Department of Defense. Here in Nigeria, we have, as I told you, we have a national working group on biosafety and biosecurity. And then apart from that, there is an association. We have, just as you have Association of Medical Laboratory Sciences, we have National Biological Safety Association. Among the members, we have colleagues in uniform. I said we have colleagues in uniform. Also, we have those from Nigerian Navy, we have from the Air Force, we have the Army, we have the police. So whenever you are having conference, because of the implication of security implication of these organisms, they are all considered to be there. And then we have Office of the National Security Advisor. We have so many members there, more than 50 members. They all participate in one of our activities or the other that has to do with biosafety and biosecurity in Nigeria. Because of the implication of biosafety and biosecurity, where people have access to something. So this is a very important issue that we have to take it seriously when we are combating the proliferation of antimicrobial resistance. So therefore, best practices is very important in all we do. Implementing robust biosafety and biosecurity protocols for MR laboratories is very important. We need, just as we are doing now, comprehensive training, regular audits. We make assessment and then identify weaknesses and improve it. Then we come up with clear policies and SOPs, enhanced security system, and so on and so forth. This is a continuous cycle. And then we should also dwell into technological innovations. Like we have AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We can evolve it in our daily practices. I don't know, I think some of you participated in our workshop on malaria diagnosis this year. I don't know whether we have representative from the Ministry of Health from Katsina State, but we have a representative from various ministries. During that conference, workshop, somebody came up with machine learning and AI technology for the detection of some pathogens. And he made a demonstration. It's a research well demonstrated and well established. So through the application of AI and machine learning, you'll be able to now handle your laboratory procedures and then be up and going and coming. Through that is technological advancement, including issues that has to do with MRs. So therefore, this is very important. For us to forge ahead in this war against antimicrobial resistance, we need to strengthen our surveillance. We need to invest more, and we also need to diversify on our technologies. We need to prioritize biosafety and biosecurity. We can see how biosafety and biosecurity can be found in every aspect of our activities. Then we have to foster collaborations, and we have to educate and advocate. This thing we are doing is part of the advocacy. I don't know whether we have achieved our key messages. This is the key messages we have presented at the beginning of our presentation, and then we don't know whether we are able to achieve it. Let us see. It has been demonstrated that antimicrobial resistance is a global threat with rising resistance, and it has high economic impact. Correct? Number two, we are able to demonstrate that biosafety prevents unintentional exposure or release of pathogens. Correct? We are able to also establish that biosecurity protects biological materials, including AMRs, multi-drug resistant organisms, from unauthorized access and misuse. Correct? We are able to say that there is a concept of cyber biosecurity, and this is essential to safeguard our digital biological data. We are able to demonstrate how important it is. Correct? We are also able to mention that poor laboratory practice contribute, unprofessional practices contribute to AMR spread. Yes? Is there any point of disagreement here? We are also able to say that, finally, that integrating biosafety, biosecurity, and cyber security all combined together will safeguard public health. This is the conclusion. AMR, cyber security, how important it is in this war. Strengthening our laboratory lab protocols. I'm happy that we are going to have some activities tomorrow related to this. Then interconnected threats demand integrated and updated risk mitigation system, which is also going to be among issues to be discussed tomorrow. These are recommendations. Strict biosafety, strengthening biosecurity, regular personnel training. We adopt emerging technologies such as AI, whole genome sequencing, automation, blockchain, promote international collaboration for AMR surveillance. We have improved data integrity, access control, and inventory management. So far, so good. This is what I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Another round of applause as Professor Usman Ali will step down the podium. Yes, you can bear me witness. If you can leave Professor to continue talking, he will adopt a 3 teaching method. He will tell you in the first place what he wants to teach you, and then he will teach you. At the end of the lecture, he will tell you, okay, at the beginning I told you I want to teach you, then this is what I told you. So please, another round of applause for Professor Usman Aliyu. We inquire that if you have any question you put forward. So far so good. No question has been forwarded. So please, if you have any question from our previous presentation, please you can raise your hands up. I can bring the mic to you. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be having a presentation or a session where we'll develop a plan. That is one of the most important aspects of this workshop. We are going to digest a plan and come up with an adopted plan to curb AMR, especially in Katsina. Someone is raising? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the time to ask question. I really want to appreciate
your name, please, your name.
Sorry, my name is Scientist Chinedu. I want to appreciate all the presenters for a job well done. My question will be on how to take...
To whom are you directing your question?
Professor Farouk, if I'm correct.
Yes. Okay, sir, taking it.
He talks about probiotics and antibiotics.
No, it's Professor Bashir that talks about probiotics.
Okay, sorry. Now, you see, some people, when they want to take antibiotics, because they don't want to test it, they don't want to have the taste of the antibiotics, so they either put it inside a swallow.
Okay, okay.
So now, that is where my question comes.
Okay.
Doing that, how do we, is it part of the AMR? Because probiotics, antibiotics, taking, he talked about 20 minutes interval. So putting it inside food now, is it also part of what is contributing to AMR?
Prof, you had him? Can we finish? Take the question on. So any other question, please?
Yes.
The mic, please. Pass it.
Well, thank you very much. Auzubillahi samil alim minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa sallallahu ala nabi karim. My name is Muhammad Al Hassan Gimba, Bracha, Sokoto State of AMLSN. I don't have a question, but I just want to commend the participants for organizing this. I'll call it a world class. When I came in here, I was told our elder Ndusi, he's the LOC. I know that I found a very nice place to come and listen to all the presentations. Kudos to you and your team for doing a great job.
A round of applause. Thank you.
I also want to appreciate all the presenters for taking their time, doing well, and it's just like they were giving us chicken and 5 alive to take. Thank you very much, my professors, for doing the writing on the subject, on the presentation. We have really learned from where we are coming from. I want to conclude by saying, safe journey to all of us in our various destinations. I remain my humble self. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Someone wants to ask? Scientist Abdul Kadir. Please, Mike.
Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My name is AMLSN Abdul Karim Ibrahim from Perot Teaching Hospital, Katsina. I first of all say thank you for this wonderful presentation that was made today. I think all of us that came here has updated himself regards to what was presented. My question now is regards to the recent presentation that made by Prof. Usman Ali Yudusma, who made a detailed explanation regards to biosafety, security, and also cyber security also. But I cannot say maybe I have rushed, because this is the beginning of the day that this presentation was started. But I didn't had anything related to the maybe point or maybe a law that is maybe working against people that has encroached our maybe cyber data or biodata. Is there any maybe rule or maybe a, I think, how do I call it, a maybe point or punishment prepared to those that has encouraged who enter illegally to our maybe biodata? Thank you very much.
Is any other question, please? Yes, Science Bello.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is AMLSN Bello from General Ahmad Urimi Specialist Hospital, Katsina. I would like to also thank the presenters for wonderful presentations. My question actually goes to Professor Sarkin Pada. So during the course of your presentation, you have made mention that currently in Nigeria we're using One Health Action Plan for a year 2023 to 2028. My question here is that was Nigeria able to successfully implemented all the strategic action plans for the One Health Action Plan for the previous version before developing this current one that we are using in Nigeria?
Thank you. So I think we have to limit the questions. Please, someone should help us pass the mic. Okay. So you have a question? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Amir. My question is to Professor Usman Ali.
Okay.
Prof, sir. Have you
you.
had any, I don't know about our, whether we have large data center or we have sensitive information that need to be protected. But what I wanted to ask is, have you had any threat, this cybersecurity threat with respect to our stored data? And really, in Nigeria, do we have those kind of large data centers where we have sensitive scientific information? Do we?
Data banks.
Yes. Have you had any potential, whether it is an international cyber threat from hacking, international hackers, or a local threat where you have somebody with malicious intent trying to jeopardize such stored information? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. Please get the mic. So I think we limit the questions. You can start responding, sir. Yes.
Okay, with regard to the question asked on the consuming probiotics with food inside the food. As I said earlier, probiotics are those required food as defined by WHO, that when taken into adequate amount, it will confer health benefit to the host. That is the basic definition as given by the WHO. So when taking that probiotic, I say there's probiotic, prebiotics, and biotics. Prebiotics are those compounds, scientific compounds, that help in the development of the probiotics. Like you got prebiotic from the food materials, like the plants, material, vegetables, and others, as prebiotics. While the probiotics are the microorganisms, the beneficial microorganism, like the one we mentioned, Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, Saccharomyces, and the others. So they are all beneficial that foods in now in the process of manufacturing the foods. Either most of the dairy foods, that is the consumable foods, and some even not only dairy food, but they are mostly found like the activity of lactobacillus, lactic acid bacteria is one of the beneficial that boost the immune system and acts as pimented food. So when consuming probiotics, because there's a scientific dilemma. I attended one conference in Canada, in the Association of Probiotics, International Association of Probiotics, that scientific dilemma whether probiotics will be considered as food or drugs. If they are considered as food, then they will undergo all the protocols of the food production. If they are considered as drugs, they will be subjected to the drugs production. So some, they say, no, probiotics can serve as supplement, as a food, and at the same time can be a drug. Because like we told you, most of those neonatal sepsis, we handle those neonates with neonatal sepsis by giving them implant capsule. As a probiotic contain 2 beneficial microorganisms, Lactobacillus acidopedos and Bifidobacterium bacterium bifidum. These are the 2 strains of the beneficial microorganisms used to give them. So they will not, don't put, when taking probiotics, depending on the type of food. If the food is fermented, you can take them together because fermented food contain the beneficial microorganism. But if the food is not fermented food, and you can take the probiotic because it's part of the food. That's why I told you that's the issue of scientific dilemma. But the issue is, do not take the probiotic together with the antibiotics. So there will be a zero effect. Pro for life, anti against life. So when you want to take both of them at the same time, give at least 20 minutes. So the scientists find out that after that 20 minutes, it finished digestion. So the most useful part of it already used in your body. Then you can take the other
Thank
one.
you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, sir, you can respond.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes.
Please permit me to answer while sitting. Is it allowed? All right. Abdul Karim asked a question on whether there is any penalty for biological data.
He's talking about a law.
Yes, and then he asked about whether there is any penalty regarding breach in the safety of biological data. I want to tell you, yes, there is. When National Biosafety Management Agency was established in 2015, their central focus is just on biotechnology and genetically modified organisms. But later on, there were so many accusations and pressure from international organizations that they are not doing much on safety, biosafety and biosecurity. So, National Biosafety Management Agency, with the Office of the National Security Advisor, now developed a national policy on biosecurity. Now we have it. And in that national policy, because Office of the National Security Advisor is actively an active member, component of this, so there are those penalties mentioned. Please take note that, yes, all these have been captured, and we have so many stakeholders. And then in Nigeria, we have what we call National Biosafety Committee. And then in this National Biosafety Committee, we have members from the academia, from the health institutions, whatever. And then they came up with this, through collaboration, came up with national policy on biosecurity. And then all these aspects have been captured. And I believe if you can prove beyond reasonable doubt that somebody breached into your data, he can be convicted.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then
the second question may not be unconnected with this answer I gave. Yes, definitely we are weak. In Nigeria, we are very weak in having large database that has to do with this sensitive information about organisms of vital importance. We call them, in this strict sense, we call them valuable biological materials. We actually don't have it. However, there is a serious campaign that is sponsored by international partners. At the forefront is the health security partners. I believe, Nasir, Dr. Abokar, I believe you had activities related to these health security partners. There is a lot of campaign, and then to establish a central database with all the security, something, I think it is going to be domiciled under the Office of the National Security Advisor. Office of the National Security Advisor, then National Biosafety Management is the agency, and all other stakeholders. So, but for now, we only have decentralized data we generate in research centers, and they are also vulnerable to attacks. We have, but not as big as you may think. So actually we have National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency. They are also partners because they have a lot of these biological databases. They are also developed, and they have, because of funded research, we have so many of them there. So in a nutshell, I may say for now we don't have, but all efforts are in place through these partners, health security partners, Sandia National Laboratories, DITRA. There is also another agency, DITRA. They are all funding this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Professor Farkin Fala, you can respond to
Yeah, thank you very much. Dr. What's the name, sir? Bello, yeah. You asked about the level of completion of the National Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance of the 2017-2023 version. Okay, you are in the hospital? Okay, yeah. It's a very intelligent question, and it says a lot about one of the challenges of our health system and policy. You see, we are very good in making policies in all sectors, but the level of implementation is not poor, unsatisfactory. That word is not for advocacy. We cannot say poor. Muna tare da mutanen gwamnati. There are languages you tell them, and you at times you just coin others. Yeah. So it is really a very, it's a pity actually. I have to commend us Nigerians, experts in making policies in all sectors, not only in health sector. We sit down and craft, but in the level of implementation, you will find that is where our challenges are. The version 1, I just checked, is like 44% implemented. The second version, they call it NAP 2.0. That was made from 2024 to 2020, is it 5 years? So it's only 44%. And for obvious reason, you find that every action plan goes with budget. And that budget means money. And that money at times is not coming from the government commitment. This we have to say that there is a lack of commitment from the government in funding its own policies. That is one. And from experience, you find that we would have the policy and the budget, but we over-depend on donors. It will surprise you to see that there are programs that will, that donors will bring what they call like, what do you call that funding? that is not complete funding. Yeah, like counterpart or strengthening funding. But unfortunately, we depend 100% on that. I was the national TB consultant in the Global Fund in 2019-20. Yeah, 2009, 2010, 11, 12. There was a year that Nigeria had zero budget on TB. Why? Because of a lot of interest. WHO, Global Fund, you said, money, money, money. So we don't need to even budget for it. But it's not real. And all the amount of money that was spent is just like to assist. So at the bottom line, this is part of the policy and planning issue. And if you want to inject sustainability in any plan, you must deliberately include strategy for funding. I will give an example for Katsina State. Whatever policy or plan we can make for this government about surveillance system, we would have strategy of involving like the policy makers. If we have like State House of Assembly members to sponsor a bill for funding of such kind of, yes. Because of the AMR is a global issue, we can sponsor a House of Assembly member, write a bill for him. The AMR threat, we just articulate and craft English, you know? Aje a karanta a majalisa achi, yes, gashi, yes, and put it in the law, and they will start releasing money, at least answer a source of funding from. And don't forget, finance is part of the One Health. Muna ta cewa agric, health, environment, and finance is there. They are stakeholders. Okay, so it's only 44% implemented, okay. But we roll over, whatever.
Thank you.
And from the sectors that were weak, I think human health dominates. It might have larger percentage. Obviously, from agric and environment, we are still at the formation stage. And it is because of the lack of funding and other things.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. The questions are duly answered. I think we come to the end of today's session. So we'd like to employ all the participants. Please, tomorrow, our sessions will start by 8 a.m., inshallah. So please be here on or before 8. We'll start with 5 to 10 minutes of recap of what we had today. Then we'll continue. Most of our lectures tomorrow are going to be a continuous lectures from what we had today. So I'm going to call the presence of Malan Nasuru Magaji, Director of Medical Laboratory Science from Kano State, to come and give us a closing prayer. Thank you, sir.